studied here in the US in early 70s, and by the time I graduated, the revolution had taken place in Iran. Believing that there's going to be political freedom and that all political parties were going to be involved in the progress of the country, I returned to Iran hoping that I can be part of the progress of the country and that full democracy and freedom will take place. At that time, my childhood friend, Kazem, he was in the Revolutionary Guards. He asked me to join and help them with my expertise and help them with the infrastructure and training, which I did. Shortly after I joined the Revolutionary Guards, things started going downhill. The first slap to my face, waking me up to the reality of what was taking place, was the takeover of the U.S. Embassy in Tehran. And after that, restricting the Iranian people of how they lived. Women were dragged from the streets for not adhering to Islamic hijab, where they were promised that it's going to be a free society and they'll be free to do what they wanted. Universities were shut down to eliminate Western influence and to influence Shiaism. And political parties were banned. Many were arrested and taken to Evin prison. Many were executed. And it seemed that everything Khomeini and the clerics had promised the Iranians was a blatant lie, and radicalism was taking over. At that time, my best friends were also arrested and taken to Evin prison. And what I witnessed there changed my life forever. I saw prisoners being tortured in unimaginable ways. I witnessed the sister of my best friend taken, dragged with other teenagers who were barely 15, 16-year-old to the firing squad and executed. I learned that the virgin girls were raped the night before their execution because they believed the virgin girl would end up in heaven. And what my friend told me of how they treated him and how they raped his sister in front of his eyes to make him talk. And so it was a wake-up call that evil was taking over, and that I had to do whatever I could to bring this regime down. So I decided to come to U.S., contact the U.S. government, and ask for help, believing that America will help the Iranians rid themselves from this evil regime. I contacted the FBI, and through a series of meetings, they put me in touch with the CIA. And from there on, I became aligned with the CIA. There were many nights that I prayed to God to help me and my family to go through this course unharmed. And there were many times that I felt threatened. There was one specific time when I was making a drop, I noticed somebody watching me. And then one of the members of the intelligence unit of the Guards, who was always interfering in my business, asked me to go to the intelligence ministry with him. And then he later took me to Evin prison. And it was a kind of soft interrogation. But at that time, had they bluffed me that I was a spy and that they had the documents, I might have confessed. That was a very close call, which caused me to halt my work for the agency for a couple of months until I felt safe. I communicate with the agency that I'm not going to send any more messages, and I removed the code books from my home just to make sure that this was a one-time incident, which it was. But there were several close calls that I felt threatened that I would have been caught. I informed the agency that China was training the Revolutionary Guard members in China on a base, and Guard members were being sent there to be trained for their naval units, which caused the reaction by George Shultz, who openly criticized China. And in one of the shocking reports, I learned that England, France, and Germany, in an unwritten pact, authorized the Guard's intelligence unit to assassinate the opposition in their respective lands, as long as they didn't harm their citizens. This was a shameful act by the European countries, where hundreds of Iranian oppositions were assassinated. I reported that to the agency. There were many reports about their terrorist activity, their support for suicide bombing in Israel, whenever there was talks of peace between Israel and Palestinians, and their help of Hezbollah, and where they sent arms and members of the Guards to Lebanon through Syria to train the militias and create atmosphere where they would take out terrorist activities. I'm in hiding because if my identity is revealed, my family members, I've got many back there in Iran, they would get lined up and taken to prison and tortured. They have no idea what I've done. My family, my children, my wife would be endangered. And it's a policy of the Islamic regime to assassinate those who have betrayed it and engaged in acts of espionage. But more so because I recruited for the agency, and I could harm a possible ongoing operation right now.